What's up, everybody? Welcome to Why We Love Horror, the fully English language literate Why We Love Horror. I'm JWMaher. That's Abby Brooks. That's Aaron Brooks. How you guys doing? Chico's there too. Ashley.
Yeah, Chico's
He's
here.
We're good.
Half of him. We're good. Yeah, happy early Halloween.
Happy early Halloween. This movie's been out for a little bit, but Shudder does what they want. They weren't going to release this on Halloween. This is a Halloween season.
Yes.
It's the latest installment of the beloved, for the most part, VHS found footage franchise. So this is VHS Halloween. Looks like that. Shudder original. One, I guess, big name director, and then a couple other up and comers. What were your guys' initial thoughts on VHS Halloween?
Yeah, I mean, I was excited when it was announced. It seems like it's kind of a yearly thing at this point for like the past 4 years, I think. And I looked at the list of directors, and like you said, there's really only one name that I really recognized at first. And I was also like, wait, what did he direct that I like? And he's the Wreck guy. The rest of them, though, I really hadn't heard of, and I don't think they really directed anything substantial. So I think it was pretty impressive to get all of these directors, and they were kind of able to showcase themselves, and they were all very good.
I'd say the second most famous director is probably Casper Kelly, who did the Adult Swim U-Log movies, which are like criminally underseen and like way better than they should be. But that's all he's done, really. Aaron?
Yeah, like the VHS movies I should like, I feel like, especially being a found footage and like experimental horror fan, but they're always like almost for me. And I've only watched like 2.5 of them, to be honest with you. But from the 2.5 I've seen. So like I was like, all right, this should be good. Like I was hearing some buzz for this one. I've heard some buzz for the last few. I did not finish the last one yet, but I'm sure I've heard it's good. I'll watch it. But I got through this one and I had a good time with it. So
yeah, I'd say like the greatest thing the VHS franchise did was abandoning the whole like overarching storyline that ties them all together. Like after the fourth one, when they were just like, fuck this. Smartest thing they've ever done. Because like I'm happy with just like let's just do a shorts anthology every year. I'm good with that. I don't need to the whole VHS mythos they were trying to do through the first 4 movies. It's like you guys had no idea what you were doing. You painted yourselves into a corner. You had no clue what was going on, and I'm cool with that. But let's get into this movie, which is kind of the current rendition is, we got a wraparound story, which allows itself to be divided up by however it works. And then we get like 4 or 5 movies in the middle, which is like, I'm totally fine with this. This is exactly how it should be. This is hearkening back to Creepshow. It's correct. At the top, I guess we'll do the wraparound story first, or do you want to do the first story first? What makes more sense?
I mean, we could just start with the wraparound. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, the wraparound may be the weakest segment of the whole movie, a Diet Phantasma, which I don't understand how we get to the premise, but like it is what it is. It's like a focus group wherein this group of scientists / food scientist researchers have developed a soda that has ghosts in it, and they're having people drink it. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, and they die in different ways.
Yeah. It's very repetitive, yes. I will say. I think I did a ranking on my Letterboxd review. I think I put this one last, mainly because, I mean, in my opinion, none of these are actually bad, but I put this one last just because it's so repetitive. It's literally the same. Like I don't even think you really need to put spoilers up. Every single time this one pops up, it's just somebody new drinks this soda. They die by their head exploding or getting possessed or something crazy. That's it.
I'll throw up spoilers anyway. I think my whole thing with this, Abby, you're right. This is just one of those, and like I've said this before about certain movies. These segment of shorts was just like an effects team like putting forward their portfolio. It's like look at what we can do. These are our effects. Please hire us for your next zombie movie. Here we go. That's exactly all this is. It's fine.
Yeah, pretty much same thoughts. But, it's like trying to also make a little bit of that point about, capitalism is bad. which is good and very important for a 2025 movie to finally be breaking ground with that and how they're going to do anything this company can do to get this soda out in time. So like the effects are good for it, but other than that, I mean, yeah, it's quite disposable. I don't think that Brian Ferguson was trying to do more than that. I believe that was his name.
Yeah. Then from there, we got our first person killed. Then we get into our first segment, which is was it Anna Zlakovic's Coochie Coochie Coo, which is basically the parts of Barbarian that made you go, "What the fuck?" made into a short.
Yeah, and I feel like with like each one of these, and Asher's going to be making his comments as
he obviously loved
as
Coochie
the episode
Coochie
goes
Coo.
along. He enjoyed Coochie Coochie.
The most germane to Asher's life, Coochie Coochie Coo.
Yeah, very very relatable.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly our life at this point. But I feel like with this one, it was like trying to like, you know, go with like the whole like kind of TikTok like kind of horror. Like I feel like each segment was making a comment on a different like horror trend that's kind of going on right now, and this was like kind of that with like the more shocking stuff, and like it just wasn't that shocking to me, and it definitely wasn't that funny. It was quirky and weird, but like I don't know. Of the segments for me, this one is by far my least favorite. None of them are bad, but this one was not my favorite, and you know, it was all right.
I'm gonna throw it over to Abby last, but I would say like you're right. This is like all the segments are good. There's no bad segments in VHS Halloween. This is probably the weakest of the main segments, where it's just basically like a woman who was killed comes back as like a breastfeeding demon. Basically, that's the whole premise, and she's gonna breastfeed the fuck out of whoever she finds. out of teenagers who trick or treat when they're too old, is basically. So whatever. All the premises sound so batshit insane when you say them out loud for this movie.
Yeah, no, I agree that like all the segments, especially the first few, sound very like wacky and zany off like on paper, I should say, and then the last couple are obviously crazy on paper and off paper as well. But I felt like the energy for those first three was very like Creepshow, which you mentioned earlier, and like it's interesting over the day I've had to kind of think about how I feel about like kind of the tonal whiplash from the first couple to the last couple. So. Which I actually like more as I thought about it more. But Abby, what were your thoughts on Coochie Coochie Coo?
Yeah, I mean, I actually put this one kind of a little higher up. I think I put this as my number 2 or 3. I forget. I don't know. I agree with everything that you guys are saying. I thought, yeah, this is kind of a more, I think, grosser, like kind of Barbarian-esque kind of short. I thought, I don't know, I liked the effects. I liked how gross it was. I thought that the house that they were in, like it just felt very creepy and like unsettling. So that's why I kind of put this one up a little bit more, but I get what you guys are both saying and why it's a little bit lower on yours.
Makes sense. So we go back to Dia Phantasma. We come back to Paco Plaza, the biggest name we have. Paco Plaza of one half of Rex fame, doing, what is it called? Ut supra sic infra, which is as above, so below in, I guess, Latin. I mean, yeah, it must be Latin. I'd say maybe the most straightforward of the clips. It is like a straightforward, like, fuck around and find out possession haunting story. And it's the only international, I mean, non-English language segment we get. I think it's strong for if you're into Paco Plaza's style. Like he's definitely done a lot of, since Rec, I believe he did like that whole like Sister Death series. So it fits right in line with his tone now, like what people hire him for. So I had no complaints about it. I think it's maybe my second favorite segment is this one.
Yeah, I put this one right in the middle for me. Again, you're right. It's probably the most straightforward, haunting, possession-ish kind of movie. But I thought it was done very creatively where, you know, the only remaining survivor basically goes back to the scene where it happened and kind of has to retrace his footsteps. There's a creepy phone, really creepy possession kind of things, and like a really gross ending.
Yeah. I really like this one. It was straightforward, but it was like very well executed. And it like did something that not a lot of VHS segments do, which is take its time, which I know you can't really do with most segments, but it was able to like take its time and have a slower pace to its 20 minutes or so. It was, I think clearly the most well polished and best like of the three, maybe not the most fun or maybe not my favorite of the three.
It's probably the most serious of all of them.
It's definitely the most serious. For sure.
It's serious. Yeah. It like, and again, like I think that the effects are pretty good with the eye gouging. Like it's just like seeing like gross. Whatever the entrails of the eyes are like come out is just like a new like real big ick for me, along with fingers getting cut off and a few other things, or bit off if it's bones and all. Spoilers for bones and all. If you didn't know that. But yeah, no, Paco Plaza, like it was like interesting because I went into it with the highest expectations for that segment because it's Paco Plaza. And I feel like he was able to deliver on that, which is not easy for the guy who did Wreck. It's high expectations. So I thought this was really good. Like you get all the answers to everything by the end, why the bones are broken when they fall to the ground and everything. And yeah, I thought it was solid.
I agree. Back to Die Phantasma.
My number is probably 2 as well.
Yeah. Back to Die Phantasma. Then we go back to Fun Size by Casper Kelly. Who, have you guys seen the Adult Swim U-Log movies?
I knew about it. I also know he did write or a few of the Scooby-Doo like mysteries and a few other things like that. Like he's done
shorts too. Someone on my Letterboxd told me that he did a short that they liked.
Yeah, he's got a style, and Fun Size is like, again, if you described this to me, I'd be like, that sounds stupid as fuck. But like they pull it off. Maybe more penises that I like to see and like up close in a horror movie. But hey, these last few days doing the Pick the Poison challenge, I've seen more penises than I see when I shower in these recipes. That's my only complaint. But whatever, ladies love it, I guess. I don't know, Abby.
This was my favorite, but not for that reason. This is my favorite because I liked the tone. It's extremely goofy. And the whole premise of this one is, again, it's a group of teenagers who probably shouldn't be trick-or-treating. They get sucked into a bowl of candy, one of those where you're only supposed to take one. They start taking more than one and they get sucked down into the bowl. And then they just start getting turned into the candy. So like their balls and hands and all of that.
The weird thing is they're not even teenagers. They're full on adults.
Yeah.
They're getting engaged because there's the whole scene where it's just like, hey, we're engaged. Let's get married right before I'm about to die. And the girl rejects him as he's dying. I was like, that's fucking cold as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this one was fun. I had a good time with this one. Again, if I'm going by the trend thing, the last one was like just an intense found footage, which we see, once a week if you're watching found footage as much as I do. And this one is the like play on like Willy's Wonderland, play on Five Nights on Freddy's, play on like the exaggerated mascot.
Yeah, there's like a weird cartoony guy. I don't even know.
Fun Size.
Yeah.
Fun Size.
Yeah.
And then a little guy who cracked me up. I don't know what his name was, but he was so funny. His dancing was incredible. Again, it felt like Willy's Wonderland, which is a high compliment from me. This was again right there with As Above, So Below. Like these two were so much better than the Coochie Coochie Coo segment. Like I just was like, okay, this has a chance to be like not just good for a VHS movie, but a good movie. Like would be the first time for me with a VHS movie that I've seen. So yeah, this was a good one. Like they take more than one, and then at the end, the little kid takes more than one, and it's just like
kind of like goes like flying.
It's
at them,
it's like a trick. It reminds me of Trick or Treat. It feels like that sort of energy as well. Like
that would have fit in like a Trick or Treat like movie.
Yeah, like it definitely feels inspired by that. Not saying they couldn't have came up with it without it.
Yeah, then back to that Phantasma. Then we get into Kid Print, which is like a really well thought out premise, I would say. It's like it's got layers. Alex Ross Perry's Kid Print, where basically it's a community where a bunch of children are disappearing, and then a guy that runs an electronics store is creating like a security thing. It doesn't feel modern. It feels like it's from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it said it was like 1992 or something.
Yeah,
like
it definitely it's video store era because everything's on VHS tapes. Shocker. This person nailed the assignment. And he's creating these like security videos where like we can get like a current picture of kids so that if they do go missing, we have everything we need to find them. But it turns out one of his employees is the killer, essentially. And just the twists and turns we take within like 20 minutes are like really it's extremely well done.
Yeah, I would say this one and the Paco Plaza one are probably the two most serious ones, I guess. I had heard about this one being super intense, and it's probably the most intense and like, I don't know, I don't want to say violent, but it's the most intense.
It's the most dark. It's dark.
Yes, segment that I've probably seen in a VHS movie.
Yeah, this was my favorite one for sure. And I went into it like with the warning about like the violence against kids and murders against kids more than violence. And more than the violence and implied violence with the kids, it's like having those kids act as convincingly as they did in those spots because of like the gritty footage. I think it just like it lends itself to that even more, to where like it's like the lighting and everything with it, and like this was like it kind of reminded me of like one of the video nasties that like the censor girl would have worked on back in the day. She would have been like, "Oh, kid print, I bought one," like, and she was working on that. Like, this is one of the, and it like felt like grimy. It felt real. I think
it is pretty gross feeling, but it's not. Yeah, it's just very intense.
But they're not showing they like all the bad. And the thing that I think is really unique about it is not just like that they get you to believe it's one of the guys for the longest time with how he's like turning off like the radio news and like downplaying it. And he's kind of creepy in general, and that's not him. But also like the way, again, in 20 minutes that Alex Ross Perry is able to get like the loss of the innocence of the kids who end up killing Tim, like right on the camera there. It's just like brutal how they kill him too. Like, I mean, they're just like, and it's just like not only brutal how they kill him, but why they kill him and what that's implying for those kids moving forward and how fucked they are. Like, and it wasn't just like, let's just shock by messing up some kids and like but it also is shocking by using kids in the way it did. This is my favorite one, probably one of my favorite segments in any of the VHS movies. And
I would say, safe haven level. We made it. We did it. Kid print is safe haven level. We did it. And then one more time, and then back to the final one, which is home haunt, which is like, it's again extremely straightforward. Like, a modern family, they want to have a haunted house in their property for Halloween. They find this haunted record that makes the haunted house real, and like that's very simple. And I think the way they executed Home Haunt was actually really good. I think it's like pushing found footage to like at least its technical extremes. I think they did. I think technically this is probably the best movie. It's not the best like altogether, but technically the stuff they did was really, really good with Home Haunt, I think.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I liked the tension between the family members. I liked the effects in this one. But yeah, again, you're right. It's a very basic one, but I think I'd put this one in the middle, I think also.
They should have switched this one and Kid Print, had you end on Kid Print and just that gut punch. They wanted to give you a little more of the reprieve here. And I ended up, I need to rewatch that segment maybe because like I started dipping out a little bit after that high of Kid Print, if I'm being honest.
That's fair enough. But those are all the segments. Then Diane Phantasm wraps up with they get that soda to market. Let's put it that way.
They do.
And then we'll do some ratings here. Aaron, I think you get to start.
I do get to start, which means I have the lowest rating of the three of us. I still have a really high rating. I really like this one. It's my favorite of the VHSs I've seen, which is like 2.5 of them. So I'm going to give it 4 videotapes here, or 4 candy corns, whatever we're doing for Halloween. I don't know. If they're all as good as Kid Print, it's a 4.5, but they weren't, and they're not all as bad as Coochie Coochie Coo either. So we land at a 4.
Abby?
Yeah, I went a little bit higher. Again, I think as of now, this probably is my favorite VHS movie. I do want to see them keep putting these out because I think they're kind of on a high at this point. I really liked last year's. The two that came out previously, I wasn't that big a fan of, but I think they're getting somewhere with this, and with like the themed ones, I'm really enjoying it. So I gave it a 4.5. Again, no bad segments for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Abby. I'm also at 4.5. I think every VHS movie that came before this, there was at least one segment in each VHS movie where you're like, this absolutely sucks. Like there's always at least one segment like this is stupid. Whose cousin made this movie? But like VHS Halloween, they did not allow that to happen. Like again, Coochie Coochie Coo is probably the weakest. Die Phantasma, I guess, the weakest part of the movie. But they are all good. Like the baseline is they're good. So it's good to great to like excellent with kid print. So yeah, for the first time we have like a solid bell to bell VHS. I'm gonna go 4.5 on that for sure. But if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. I will throw up the QR code. Pause the video. That's our Facebook challenge right there. Check that out. And for myself, John Maher, for Abby Brooks, for Aaron Brooks, for Asher, who chimed in, for Chico, who's on the couch somewhere, here comes the schedule. See you next time.